In the fall of 1994, Atari unleashed Primal Rage in the arcades, a fighting game featuring 7 highly realistic dinosaur gods. Time Warner Interactive is currently preparing another Primal Rage Blitz. This fall, they'll release the home version on 11 different platforms. With the home invasion drawing near, we decided to take a look at how the stunning characters of the arcade version came into being. The process of creating the creatures started with the director of animation, Jason Long. Jason created the characters in their first visual form, sketches. Once the look of the creatures had been decided, it was time to animate them. To make the dinosaurs stand apart from other fighting game characters, it was decided that they would be brought to life through a proprietary new stop-motion technique. Stop-motion photography had been used in movies for years, but it had never been used in a video game on such a massive scale as in Primal Rage. Working from Jason Long's art, movie animator Dan Platt turned each character into a clay model. From the clay model, a mold was made. An armature, a posable skeleton, was placed inside the mold, which was then filled with whipped latex and baked to create the puppet. Once the latex puppets were formed, it was time to paint them. Colors and details like stripes were airbrushed onto the latex skin of each puppet. Each character was painted to reflect its background and special moves. Blizzard, the Himalayan 8 character, was painted primarily in white and light blue to match his Arctic homeland and his cold-based special moves, while the T-Rex Diablo was painted in bright reds to match his fiery powers. After the models were painted, it was time to add the finishing details of their appearance. Hair was glued onto the puppets by hand, giving Blizzard his white mohawk. Glass eyes were added, and molded teeth set into the jaws. In Armadon's case, spikes were added in by hand as well. Once this stage was complete, the models were ready to be animated. The real genius of stop-motion models lay under their brightly painted skin. Each used a specifically designed armature which allows the photographer to make minute changes in the model's stance. Stop-motion models used in movies use armatures made up of ball and socket joints, but the puppets for Primal Rage required increased flexibility, so improved joints were invented specifically for this project. Once the models were finished, they went to stop-motion photographer Pete Kleinow, whose previous animation projects include Gumby and Sam Raimi's Army of Darkness. Tiny adjustments to the model stance were made for each frame of photography. Making one move look fluid requires nearly 100 frames of animation. Each character has about 70 sequences for a total of over 400 moves in the game, requiring upwards of 40,000 frames of animation. A lot of painstaking work went into the making of Primal Rage, which is made obvious as soon as you start playing. Not only does the game have top-notch fighting action, but the characters move beautifully and have a 3D look that can only come from real models. Since Time Warner Interactive is releasing Primal Rage for just about every system except the Intellivision, you'll have no excuse not to play.